Hello and welcome to the demonstration video to create the spreadsheet for category sales. In this assignment you will be using some formatting such as fill color. As you can see here, this is a finalized version of the assignment. You're going to be using some fill color for this sheet. You will also be applying some bold and italic styles to the fonts, as well as changing font sizes, and you will also be using formulas and formatting for your numbers and using the fill handle to fill down and fill right. So first, let me go ahead and show you the directions. You can find these in Google Classroom as well as a printed copy for you to reference. The new skills that you're going to learn are how to decrease decimal, how to auto-fit column width, and how to shade cells. Alright, so open the category sales sheet from Google Classroom if you have not done so already. It will look like this, so has no formatting on it. It's plain, and so we're going to actually add the formatting to it. In number 2, you're going to rename as category sales first name last name, and it will automatically save into your Google Drive. So here I have it named category sales video demonstration. I'm just going to change that to category sales and my first name and last name. Alright, next, in 3, we're going to format cells A1 to G1. So that's the range. So you've already done that. You know how to select the range. So you're going to select the range A1 to G1 and give it a font size of 14. You're going to bold it and apply Comic Sans. And then you're going to merge and center. Alright, so that's a lot of things at once. So let's go back to the sheet. You're going to format A1 to G1. So that was the range. And we're going to do font size 14, bold. So I'm changing the font size to 14, bold it, and we are also changing the font style to Comic Sans. And then I also remember it said to merge and center. So if you remember, the merge button is right here. Do you see I put my mouse over it and it gives me a mouse tip? That's to merge the cells. So it combines that into one big cell, and then I'm going to actually center it to put that title right in the center. Alright, next in step 4, it says in B10 we're going to use the sum function button to create a total for the beverage category. Use the autofill handle to copy the formula across through cells F10. Alright, so B10. So let's go back to our sheet and look at that. So F10 is B10 is right here. So we are going to click in B10, so B10, and then go over to the function button and select sum. And now this is where you have to tell the sheet what it's going to sum or what it's going to add together. So I'm going to select these cells right here, and then on my keyboard I'm hitting enter, and it's going to give me the total for those cells. And then easy peasy, I'm going to use this fill handle right here, and I'm going to fill right. Okay, next I'm going to do step 5. In cell G3, use the sum function again to create a total for Austin #1 location. Use the autofill handle to copy the formula through cell G9, and then click cell G10 and total that column. Okay, so again, a lot of things going on there. So I'm going to go back to my sheet, and I'm going to cell G3. And I'm going to use the sum function again, and now it's asking me what do I want to sum or what do I want to add up. I'm going to add, for Austin #1, I'm going to add these numbers up right here and then hit enter, and I'm going to use my fill. I'm going to fill down, and then in my directions it asks me to sum this column right here. So I'm just going to select G10 and use the sum button. And it's asking me what I want to sum. I'm going to sum the columns, so I'm selecting those numbers and hit enter, and you should get 24,223. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here in my directions. Here's where the new skills come in. So new skill for number 6, select the range B4 to G9. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So B4 to G9, so there's my range, And I'm going to use the number style, which is located in the Format Number menu. And then I'm going to click Decrease Decimal, so that must be new, 2 times so that there are no decimal places. And notice here I've given you a little image of what that Decrease Decimal button looks like. So I'm going to go first to Format Number, and then I'm going to go over to Number, and notice it gives me the decimal points there. Now I'm going to decrease the decimal. So if I put my mouse over the option, it actually tells me that's the decreased decimal places. I'm going to hit that twice to get rid of those decimals. Next, I'm going to select the range B3 through G3, and then I'm going to hold down Control and keep it held down and select B10 to G10. And then I'm going to apply the currency style and click the decrease decimal 2 times. Alright, so B3 to G3 and then B10 to G10. So B3, I'm selecting these cells first, B3 to G3, and then I'm going to hold down the Control button on my keyboard, and I am selecting, and I need to go back here real quick, B10 to G10. So I'm selecting these numbers right here. I'm holding down Control. If you notice, the B3 through G3 is still selected, because what it does is it continues to select that. While I'm holding down my Control, I can select anything else at the same time while not selecting anything in between there. So that's what the holding down Control does for you. So I'm going to apply the currency style to it, and then it wants me to decrease the decimal by 2. So there you go. So I got rid of those decimals after that. Okay, now we're going to go to step 7. This is also a new skill. It says select ranges A2 through G2. So I'm going to do that first. A2 through G2. And I am going to change the font size to 12 and apply a bold to this selection. So font size, changing that to 12, applying bold, and then going back to my directions, select columns A through G and auto fit the columns. So this is a new skill for you. How do you auto fit columns? It gives you a little bit of description. It says do this by selecting all the columns and taking your mouse to the farthest right of the highlighted columns at the top in between the G and the H columns until it shows this mouse icon. So it kind of looks like this. And then double click and it will auto fit the columns. Alright, so let me go ahead and demonstrate that for you. It's probably easier for you to see. So first I'm going to select column A. And the way that I'm going to select all the columns is I'm actually going to hold down that Control button on my keyboard, and I'm going to actually select all of those columns, and they select them all at once, and then I'm let go of the Control key on my keyboard, and in between G and H, do you see that double-headed arrow? I'm going to go ahead and double click right there, and it auto fits it for me. So you'll notice column A has a large space, and then the rest of them are auto fit to their titles. So that's what it should look like after you do the auto fit. So again, what I did, I'm going to undo this so you can see it again. After my columns are all selected, I went between G and H, and I have that double-headed arrow. I double click it, and it auto fits for me. Alright, next, a new skill in number 8. You're going to select the range A3 through A9. So A3 to A9. So that's all your locations. And we're going to apply italics. That's the little I right up here next to the bold. And we're going to click in cell A10 and apply bold and italic and right align. So bold and italic, apply italics, bold and italic. Oh, click A10 and right align. Okay, so we're going to apply italics to just this. So I'm sorry. We're going to apply italics to just this, and then click A10, and then bold, italic, and right align. So I'm assuming that the new skill is probably the right align for you, and that's going to put that total there all the way over to the right for cell A10. Alright, then step 9, select the range A1 through G1 and apply a green fill color. So A1 through G1, and again, it doesn't really matter what kind of green you use, as long as you use a color of green. I'm going to use this bright green right here. And then repeat this green shading for the data in rows 3, 5, 7, and 9. Now I could absolutely go through and select each of these rows and go up and apply my fill color, or using the control key I could hold that down and select these rows simultaneously, so at the same time. See how I'm doing that? I'm holding down the control on my keyboard, selecting rows 3, 5, 7, and 9, and then I'm going to go up to my fill color, which looks like the paint bucket, and I'm going to fill it with green. And then click somewhere else so you can see every other row is filled with green. Alright, number 11, select the range A1 through G10 and apply an outer border to the selection. So A1 through G10, so if I select A1 and just drag straight down, it's gonna select the entire table. And you did this in your last assignment. You're gonna select the outer border option, which is this one right here, and that puts an outer border around the table for you. Alright, and then 12, this is new. You're actually going to raise your hand and you're going to show Mrs. Jory your category sales sheet assignment instead of submitting it into Google Classroom. So I'll look at that. I will tell you if there's anything that you need to correct, and then I'll let you sign for yourself so that you get full credit for this assignment. If you have any questions, please remember the ask 3 before me rule, and then I will come around and answer any questions that you have. Alright, thank you for watching.